Hey guys, my name is Thomas and today I want to show you my latest acquisition. I couldn't say no to something on the internet and so I bought an Olympus. It's an OM-1 and it's sort of a project camera, so I thought it's maybe fun to just tell you about it and then see how it comes out in the end. When I say project, I mean I'm not going to do that myself because my talent in repairing cameras is completely non-existent. When I was young, I was able to take them apart, but never ever able to put it back together. So I leave that to people that have more talent there. But it was cheap. It is an Olympus OM-1 with a 51.8 and a very nice 135 3.5, and it also came with some accessories. Came with the original Olympus strap. Frankly, I personally never used them. And this Olympus case, which is, maybe I'm going to use this half, to protect the bottom, but it's nice to have this period accessories, but for me, I won't use them maybe. And of course it came with a little flash shoe that goes on here. I like the looks without better, and I'm not going to use a flash with this camera, most likely not. So what are the pitfalls that you have to watch out when you buy an old camera? If it's a manual camera, it's most likely that it is serviceable. If it has an electronic shutter, for example, it might be that when it stops working it's hard to repair because there's not a lot of replacement parts for electronic cameras, and electronics age, that means that the replacement parts are also old, etc., etc. So if you buy a camera with aperture priority mode or something like that, just make sure that it works before you buy it, and then you maybe have fun for a lot of years. This is a manual camera, and it's an Olympus. They have one or two special problems. The most well-known problem is that on Olympus OM-1 and OM-2 cameras there is a small piece of foam on top of the prism housing, so it's between the top cover and the actual glass prism, and this foam deteriorates and then it becomes very sticky and gluey, and it can really damage the silvering, the mirror surface of the prism. And then when you look through the camera, you will see it's pretty blotchy. This camera doesn't have it, and I could ask the vendor before I got it if he could have a look through it and tell me if it's clear or not. And he said it's sort of clear. What it does have though is that there are actually pieces of foam inside that sort of stick into your view. I don't know how that happened. But it's not a damaged prism, so, and the prism you cannot repair, but this, just pieces of foam that are somewhere in there, you can of course take out. The second problem is I checked the shutter. I asked the vendor to check the shutter, but he didn't have any clue, so I said just put it on 1 second and tell me if you hear it 1 second. And he said, yes, it works at 1 second, so I knew the long times work. But at 1/1000th of a second, you can see that the shutter doesn't fire very well. I'm not sure. You see only half of the shutter curtain really opens at 1/1000th. If you set it to 500, then it's already okay. It's a pretty common fault also on Pentexes, on old Pentexes like Spotmatics or KM or K1000, etc. I hope it can be done with a clean loop and adjust. That means that a repairman just cleans the whole internals relubricates with the right stuff, and then it should work again. I hope it is like that. And the third problem that's also pretty common for old cameras is that this light seals, you know, the seals that run around here, they have become sticky and gluey as well. So it's a piece of foam that's has been glued in here and here, and it just has to be removed. You can do that yourself if you have with a small tooth, pick very carefully so as not to scratch anything, and then sometimes on the internet you even find people that sell foam kits to refoam these pieces. But it is some work, especially on the Olympus, because it's such a thin bridge where it is fitted. The nice thing about Olympus is in Germany, where I live, there are 2 repair people that actually only care for these old Olympus cameras. And the one is OM-Doktor. He sits in Hamburg, and I once had a Olympus Pen FT repaired by him, and he did a very good job. And the other one is called OM-Labor. That's a guy, he's in Frankfurt. And on his website he offers to do a CLA service, including new foam and cleaning everything and adjusting the times and the light meter for 79 euros if it's an OM-1. Other models, then it's a bit more expensive. So yeah, I paid for this camera with a lens and this lens. Both lenses are perfect, they don't need any service. Altogether 135, so I think it was a pretty cheap camera. So I'm gonna send it to him, and once I got it back I'll report how things worked out. I hope he doesn't give me a phone call and says, oh, I'm sorry, that thing is just beyond repair. But we'll see. I don't believe that, by the way. Oh yeah, before I forget, the light meter works. And the times and yeah, the values that it shows seem to be very plausible for me, so I don't see any problem there. And from the outside it's a very nice body. You see it's a very old OM-1. It doesn't even have the motor drive connection. Chrome is nice, no wear. The only thing it has a dent here, but yeah, it's not that nice. But I don't mind that much. I'm gonna use it. It's not only for the shelf. Okay, that's it for now. So I hope you enjoyed, and you will check back in 1 or 2 weeks or whatever when I've got back this camera. Bye.